Picture It Los Angeles 2024.
Ooh, welcome to Out on the Lanai, the only Golden Girls podcast you're ever going to need to listen to. I'm HAlanScott / Sadie Pines.
In a fit of giggles, I'm Kerri Doherty, and today we're doing another Golden Rewind where we go back and rewatch our favorite episodes of the Golden Girls and offer new insights since we first started breaking down these episodes way back in 2014. And it's time to jump under a giant electric blanket and say, thanks for the lovely prayer, because we just rewatched season 2, episode 17, A Bedtime Story.
Let me just say up top right now, before we get into any business, that this, even though this is not a holiday episode, even though this is not Christmas, Thanksgiving, any of the things, we are officially in the throe of the holiday fun / stress / whatever. And if there is ever an episode of the Golden Girls that needed to get me into the oozy, comfy moment of like just feeling very like cozy, if you will, it's this episode. It's a flashback episode. They're all in bed together, not sexually. They are cozy and having fun, and they're staying up late at night and eating food and being naughty.
Eating lots of food and drinking tea.
It just makes you feel like, yeah, I want to get into the holidays with family and friends and eat Oreos at 1 a.m.
Yeah, and like get woken up on a bench in a railroad station by a clown.
Well, that's a different story. But yeah, that's still part of it. Still part of it. Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm drinking a holiday drink.
Wow.
Sprite, the seasonal winter spiced cranberry Sprite Zero because of calories.
Wow, good on you. I know we usually do this on Rusty Anchor Happy Hour. Mine, this feels maybe a little bit more like a Halloween drink, so it's cuspy, but this is a Spindrift blood orange tangerine that I am drinking.
Well, no,
you
that feels,
all know
no,
I love my Spindrift.
That feels festy. It's orange, and there's a Stanley Cup that I want, 2 Stanley Cups that I want. One is brown, and one is like kind of like a pumpkin-y fall orange. So that's I would say that's fall Thanksgiving.
Okay, fall colors, fall adjacent.
Yeah, for sure.
I agree. This episode, I think, is the closest thing we could sort of have to a Thanksgiving fall seasonal episode, because it is, I mean, they're under an electric blanket. Yeah, entry to the holiday season.
Yeah.
I love this episode so much. There were so many moments that I loved. I even have a little surprise for you later in the episode. It was something I discovered. I went down a little bit of a rabbit hole and discovered something that I don't think you know, and I don't think our Golden Girls fans know either. This might be breaking news.
Oh my God.
I'll get to it when we get to it. I know. I really hope I'm not overselling it, but I was very excited when I learned this information.
I cannot wait. Don't even mention when you're going to say it, because people have to listen to the full episode to find out when.
Yeah. But before we dive into the episode, a little bit of housekeeping. One, just as a reminder to everyone, next week is the week of Thanksgiving. There will not be a new episode, no new Rusty Anchor Happy Hours, none of that, just because HAlanScott / Sadie Pines and I are taking a much needed break, a little bit of time.
I'm going to Disneyland.
You're going to Disneyland. I'm going to New Jersey.
Different.
Stan is, I think I've already said this on the podcast. I can't remember. But for anybody who watches the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, this is the craziest thing in my entire life that I feel like I'm ever going to say out loud, because I love the Thanksgiving Macy's Day Parade. I watch it every year. And Stan is going to be with Alice and Brie cutting the ribbon to start the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade in New York City. I am
every single morning
jealous.
Let me just say, if you're anything like me and you love a daytime television moment, which I love a daytime television moment, I start my mornings with my Gale, I move over to my View after that, and then I get into the other things, the Kelly Clarksons, the Drew Barrymores, et cetera, et cetera. And how often do I see Mr. Stan and that actress, I forget her name now. What's her name? Allison Brie?
She's
Allison
like
Brie.
an Emmy-winning actor. She was in Glow.
Stan is bigger.
She was in
Stan is
Community.
bigger.
She was in Mad
Stan
Men.
is bigger. Stan is bigger in my world. Stan is the star of that commercial. But when I'm watching my daytime TV and Stan pops up, A, I'm like, hi, Stan. And B, I'm like, hi, Stan. So I love it. You all should be watching daytime TV just to.
Yes. And for those who don't know, we should have a scorecard. They've been playing the commercials a lot during football games if you're watching NFL. But for those who don't know and you're like, why the fuck is Stan going to be at Macy's at the parade? Stan and yes, because Stan and Allison Brie they're the faces of Macy's right now. They're in this giant holiday campaign. She is the Macy's gift guide and he is her mentee or her assistant. And they're really cute together.
He's the star.
And he will be very flattered that you said that. So he will be going there to cut the ribbon, and I will be in New Jersey with little Oreo at his parents watching.
Why am I thinking of double entendre jokes about Stan cutting my ribbon?
I don't even know where to begin with that one. Cutting your ribbon. I don't.
It just Stan cutting the ribbon.
Curling
I'm like,
your ribbon. I don't know.
Stan, you can cut my ribbon. I don't know what I'm saying.
So, So for anybody who's watching, I hope you will enjoy seeing his face on your television sets on Thanksgiving morning, if that's something that you watch, if it's a holiday that you celebrate. But
no,
that said,
not if that's something
you and I are taking a break.
Everyone should watch, regardless of the holiday. Just watch for Stan because Stan is the star, and then you can go back to whatever you want to do that day, holiday or not. Sure.
So we will be taking the week off, but if you need your Golden Girls, go back, listen to one of your old favorite episodes, put the GG on, put your DVDs on, open your Hulu, find some reruns. Hulu. Or join the Patreon and dive into some of those episodes or some of our live watch-alongs. We just did one where we watch Sisters with Aunt Angela, and that one was really fun.
Such a fun watch-along. I need to say something that we discovered about Aunt Angela on that we talked about a little bit. We talked about more.
Yes.
Nancy Walker. I didn't know this. I don't think we covered this in our original watch of this episode. I could be wrong. I haven't listened to it in, years. But she was like a biggish director. She directed a lot of episodes of Mary Tyler Moore Show, episodes of Rhoda, of course, so she was Emmy nominated for. She directed the Village People movie, Can't Stop the Music. Like, I mean, this woman, Nancy, oh my God. So credit to if you join the GG Patreon or whatever at the $8 level, you can watch that and you can hear our full conversation with our fabulous group of folks about Nancy.
Where we do a deep dive into Nancy Walker and Angela.
We really do. It
was really fun. And speaking of the GG VIP Club, this week in the Rusty Anchor Happy Hour, we're doing another show and tell, which we know you all love. We are showing off our favorite holiday decorations that we have around our apartments, our homes. I've got some GG holiday decorations to show off, and some like childhood ones too.
Oh, childhood ones. Wow.
Yeah.
I don't have any childhood ones.
I do, but
I have one, but it's not really holiday. But whatever, it can be holiday. I can make anything a holiday. I can do that. Oh my God, I'm so excited. I love the holiday season. Can I just tell you that right now? I love that we're watching this episode because of it, because it makes me get I just found, in fact, so everyone knows Kerri watches these episodes years in advance and then takes notes because she's so prepared. She's so prepared for every episode. I watch it literally an hour before we start because I need to be fresh. I'm a comic. That's how I work. And I watched this episode, was taking my notes, doing my things, pulling the clips. And then my best friend, my childhood best friend, texted me and was like, surprise, surprise, we're coming out for Thanksgiving. And so she's going to come out and go to Disneyland with us and with her mom, too, who's also like a family friend of ours. And it was just such great news. And then I was watching this episode while I got that news, and it just got me into the season.
I love that. That is fabulous news. Oh, that's so exciting.
News. I know. So
that's
follow
amazing.
me on Instagram for all those posts because I will be posting about my Thanksgiving Disney Day.
Yay. I didn't really have much else to talk about until we get into the episode.
Well, before we get into the episode, I want to ask you. So there is one of the hallmarks of this episode. One of the things of this episode is, and this is an episode. This is a trope that happens quite often on the Golden Girls, is the late night, rainy day, whatever hangout moment, that cozy. And there is nothing I enjoy. It is so rare for me to be able to have a day following, like have a late night that I don't have to have something going on the next day, because I often have something going on the next day. And so when it happens, I get so giddy excited to stay up late, get in my comfy clothes, eat something naughty, watch something naughty, not porn, and have some fun.
But that's okay.
Sure, no judgment, but that's not what I'm doing. I'm watching probably I'm binging something else, not porn. But I love it, and I love that this episode gets me into that spirit of wanting that. So I wanted to ask you, what is your late night go-to guilty snack? Either if it's ordering in a meal or a sweet treat or whatever, what do you crave in those comfy moments?
This is a great question. So right now I am in my era, my seasonal era of loving when little Oreo goes to bed, because it's already dark outside.
Yes.
We put our Christmas tree up already. We have a fake tree. It's good for the environment.
Oh,
yeah.
I love
So we
that.
put our Christmas tree up a week ago.
Wow.
We have all the Christmas lights up. I have candles lit all over the place.
Oh,
so
dangerous.
Well, no, it's safe. It's in safe areas, and I don't light them until little Oreo goes to bed.
Good.
So our downstairs, which, as you know, we have a very open layout, is very cozy. Our dining room, our living room, they're connected.
It all
very, very cozy.
Together. Yeah.
And maybe I'll do a little Christmas tour or something for a Rusty Anchor happy hour of our downstairs in the evening, because it is quite beautiful. So I love getting all those warm, cozy. I light a smoky vanilla candle or something like Christmas tree, maybe a Yankee candle, a balsam fir. And I will pour myself maybe a glass of wine. And I do what the women do a lot of times. I get out some cheese, some crackers, some green olives, maybe some pickles. I don't know. I nosh. I may get out some dried fruit, some fresh fruit. And I pick, and I sit at the table, and Stan usually crashes on the beanbag chair in the living room, and we watch Below Deck Sailing Yacht. This is what we've been watching lately. And we just do that for a couple hours. I get a little bit of a buzz on. It's lovely. And then I blow out all the candles, and we watch a couple videos of Little Oreo before we go to bed.
Oh, that's so sweet. I love that. I don't, when I'm having my cozy moment, and I get why a lot of people like this, I don't do the alcohol thing, because for me, staying up late and having that cozy food moment, what makes it super exciting is getting up the next day and having nothing to do, so I can stay in my cozy moment, and then I can extend it into sort of I can read or I can whatever. So if I drink the night before, it makes the next day not as exciting for me. You know what I mean? So I tend,
sure.
Yeah, I tend to avoid that.
And I'll do literally half a glass of wine, and I'll even mix it with some sparkling water, and it's really good that way.
Nice. Or you can try it with some spiced cranberry Sprite Zero. Maybe
that's so festive. What a beautiful can.
So festive. No, so mine is I love the nosh moment. I love the chips, I love the crackers, I love the cheeses, I love the little meats, I love the things. I love the little I'm gonna have a little bit of this, and then an hour later I'm gonna have a little bit of this. And it literally is me sprawled out on the couch like Frasier used to be sprawled out when he would get on his back and he would let his belly just sort of be out, and his legs would just very, very suggestive spread. That's what I am. I'm essentially Garfield on a couch. And I don't move from that spot for quite literally 5 to 6 hours, because
that sounds
I
so
have
nice.
had a situation in which, Michael will walk back and forth to get something, and I'll be like, can you get me some cheese? Can you get me another Sprite?
I'm not going to get up.
And I don't get up for hours.
Good for you. Good for you.
I just watch things.
What do you watch?
Well, it varies. I mean, I tend to struggle because I do love a traditional TV thing, and I think a lot of people listening can appreciate this as Golden Girls fans. There is something that's sort of been that streaming viewing thing is hard for me sometimes, because with all of the options, it's hard for me to choose. So I love a TV that just plays an episode of something. It
Mm-hmm.
has some programming taken care of for me, and I just watch it. So I
Yeah.
often do that. I'm often just sort of leaving, because half the time I'm not really even watching the thing that's on. I'm just sort of like, I'm reading or I'm talking to Michael. Like, I'm doing things, you know what I mean? While at the same time, and I love it. I love it. It's not like I'm missing out on something. So yeah, that's my
see, I
cozy
can't
moment.
relate because we'll be like this for below deck sailing up.
Really?
And then I'll be like, "Hey, did we take out the trash?" And he'll be like, shh, "Go back, go back, go back. We just missed the thing." So like we are very much into it. I mean, sure, there are some like maybe some in the more like boring moments, like one of us may just like
Yeah.
pop open Instagram for a second, but no, for the most part, like we're pretty like
That's wild, because both
captured
Michael
by the
and
cast.
there's an episode of The Office where they have a Glee viewing party. Do you remember
I
this
remember
episode?
that one. Yeah.
And there's a moment in which Phyllis during the episode says, "Which one's Glee?" And that one is both Michael and I in both situations, because we are the type of people that are on our phones or doing lots of things while we're watching TV. So if I miss something, I'll be like, "What was that?" And I'm Phyllis asking which one's Glee, and then sometimes Michael is that. It's just how we work.
It's funny that she asked which one's Glee. She asked which character is the emotion when Phyllis herself went on to voice an emotion in Inside Out.
And what did they do for Inside Out 2, which is an incredible film and people should watch it?
Electric Boogaloo.
She did not want to leave St. Louis, her hometown where she lives now, also my hometown. And so they accommodated her, and she recorded it all from the wonderful city of St. Louis, Missouri.
Good for her.
Good for her. Get that money. Anyway,
Yeah.
should we get to the episode?
Yes.
Let's do it. I'm so excited. We'll be back in a second. Bye.
And we are back talking about Bedtime Story. I want to keep us on this food train because this episode opens. These women are up late. It is well past dinner. They're all in their PJs except for Sophia. They're also drinking coffee, which like I really hope it's decaf at this time of night. I wouldn't even fuck with decaf like late at night. I'm so afraid there's like a tiny bit of caffeine in it.
This is a generational thing. I will say this, and anyone listening who is maybe a little bit older than us or anyone younger, I do think it's a generational thing, because my mother and family will just drink coffee all the time, all day long, all the time.
Decaf?
And it's like
decaf?
No, not decaf. It's like literally just regular coffee. And my grandparents were like it. I have friends' parents that are like that. They just do it all the time. The idea of cutting off caffeine at a certain time is like totally foreign to them when it comes to coffee or tea and stuff. And I'm sure others are like that, because I feel like our generation is like, no, after 6 p.m. I can't.
No.
Yeah.
No. So yeah, maybe it's not decaf. Maybe they're of that generation. Yeah. So Sophia is cooking with so many carbs, so much oil. She's making sausage and peppers, pasta pesto, ziti with oil and garlic, like for like a 9 p.m. late night snack. Oh gosh. And then Rose has made chipped beef on toast. Do you know, I mean, it's not much of a history, but do you know like what chipped beef on toast is?
Is it like hash?
No. So apparently you can buy a jar of dried beef in some stores. I don't know. A jar of dried beef. And then in a pot, so you have that. And then in a pot, you make a roux, McClanahan, of flour and butter. You make a roux. And then you put the chipped beef in and you warm that up, the dried beef, and then you serve it on toast. And this was a popular comfort food in the military, which actually makes sense because my dad, who is also in the military, he used to make tuna on toast. He would get, and maybe this is because he didn't know where to find jars of dried beef. Listeners, if any of you know where to get jars of dried beef,
I love tuna.
But my dad would take tuna, and he would make a roux with his butter and flour, and then he would put the tuna in it, and then he would put it on toast. And I ate it all the time. It was really, really good.
I still do. To me, I get a can of tuna. Oh, that makes me miss Fraser, because every time I open the can, he got excited. I get a can of tuna. I drain out that water. I put in a shit ton of mayonnaise. A shit ton of mayonnaise. Never relish. Get the fuck out of here with the mayonnaise or with the relish. And then I mix it all together, and then I'll put it on like a nice little cracker, like even a saltine, even just a saltine.
Oh yeah, I love tuna. I love making tuna on crackers. Yeah.
Oh, so good. Such a good
Yeah.
snack.
Different than tuna on toast though.
Well, yes, I love tuna on toast. I love tuna on toast
You've
as
had
well.
tuna on toast.
Of course I have. Yes, I do. I have it. It's sometimes like my lunch. Like I love a tuna on toast.
Really? You make tuna on toast?
It's so easy to make. I just mix up the tuna and I make toast and I put it on there and then I eat it. And I sometimes do it open faced. So it's like,
do you make a roux? Do you make a roux?
I don't make a roux. No, I don't make a roux.
Then it's technically not tuna on toast. I think that's tuna fish.
Technically, it is tuna on
tuna
toast.
Salad on toast. I know it is, but oh Jesus Christ! So, but you didn't grow up with the roux with the white sauce.
No, I've had the roux with the white sauce. I don't do that for my lunches. No, but I do tuna on toast because it's tuna on the toast.
Okay. Wow. I wonder what our audience drop-off has been from this conversation. So the women are a little stressed out because they've got family coming and they didn't check with each other. Dorothy's Uncle Vito is coming to stay for a week. Maybe he's Sal's brother. I don't know. I don't know who Uncle Vito is. And Rose's cousin Milo is coming. At first I thought she said Miles. And I was like, wait a minute. Are they saying Miles as her cousin? I was like,
it's only the second season. We don't have Miles yet. Well, we did, but we don't. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So they're trying to figure out what they're going to do. And then the women are just kind of like, we'll figure it out. And I'm like,
well,
no,
what do you do? I think you do.
Well,
I mean,
well, no, but in the end, they finally figure it out. But they're like, these things always work themselves out.
They
and I'm like,
do.
Well, no, they don't. But you have to do, like, you can say, okay, Vito, take Sophia's room. Sophia, bunk in with Dorothy. Like, Milo, you take Blanche's room. Blanche will sleep on the couch in the living room or the couch in Rose's room where Jean slept after telling Rose, I'm quite fond of you. That's it. Look at that. I just solved it.
Yeah, but
instead they're just going to play it by ear.
See, I would play it by ear. It feels like your plan feels like it would give me anxiety, whereas I'm just sort of like when my two guests are coming soon for Thanksgiving, I'm just like, well, we'll just clean the place and we'll decide what happens then.
Well, but my plan's a plan.
And my plan's a plan, just a different way.
Well, no, your plan is that you have no plan.
No, my plan is that we'll plan for it when we plan for it. And that's the plan.
Oh my gosh. So they all start talking about, times when they've all had to sleep in bed together, which is the start of our vignettes. The first one, the night the heat went out, when all the girls run to sleep in Sophia's bed because she's the only one with an electric blanket. And I actually think it makes sense that Sophia is the only one with an electric blanket because she's older, she's more frail, she probably gets cold more easily. Mm-hmm. We know Dorothy always dresses in layers. Blanche always has the body heat of a man to keep her warm.
That's true.
Rose has that hair and a lot of stuffies, I'm sure, to keep her warm.
Yeah, she's probably surrounded by stuffed animals. So she's just
surrounded
really
by her Fernandos.
Yeah.
I also thought in this scene, the fabulous acting of pretending to be cold. I know this is such a silly thing, but these women are really good at pretending to be sick on screen, and they're really good at pretending to be cold. This could be very broad acting. I was like, this seems like a very accurate representation of people that are cold in their house.
I mean, being cold at night is a shitty thing. It is. You wake up and it's just like, it's the worst feeling. More so than waking up and being wet, not from peeing, but from like sweating.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't like being cold. Like when you just can't get warm, when you don't have enough blanket.
Yeah.
It's really, really hard to fall asleep that way.
Do you use a big blanket? Are you a big blanket person? What kind of blanket do you use?
Yes. So we have a duvet that's kind of like an IKEA duvet that's like kind of heavy. And then we have a duvet cover over it. And then we sleep with another blanket over that because both Stan and I like to have like a little bit of weight on us when we sleep. So that's what we sleep with.
Michael and I use separate blankets because my blanket is the width of, or is like a napkin. Basically, it's like there's just because I run hot.
Yeah. So does little Oreo.
And exactly. We all
you two are very similar.
Very similar. And then Michael has the duvet with the whole like thing and everything. So it definitely. It's just how I sleep. It's just how I sleep.
But you're warm though. That's the important thing.
I am warm, but there are times recently, because it's been cold here in Los Angeles, that
It
I was
has been cold.
And at my folks' place, oh my God, it was so cold. Their house is so cold. So
I know. My family, they don't put the heat on. I feel like they wait until it hits like 58 and they're like, okay, now we'll put the heat on. Oh,
yes.
Yeah, it's always cold in my family's house. Like, just turn the heat on.
Turn the heat on.
I also love how many times in this series Dorothy has crawled into bed and Sophia has thought that she was Sal. Like, Salvador, if you want to fool around, take off your t-shirt.
There's a lot of Sophia Sal sex moments in this episode.
Mm-hmm.
That's all.
I mean, I'm sure they had a good sex life. I also love the joke when, so then Blanche comes in and Blanche has come in a parka over her nightgown, which I thought was really funny. And she comes in and wants to get into bed. And she goes, did you hear that sound? And Sophia goes, yeah. And as long as I'm in my own bed, I'll do what I want. And I just thought that was a really, really funny joke. So
I love a good fart joke.
Well, let me ask you this.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm
what
ready.
are your thoughts on? Because Sophia is like Dutch ovening that bed with other people in it. What are your thoughts about tooting in a bed with someone else in it?
Oh, I think it's fine. I mean, I'm not one to like be proud of a toot. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not one to be like, like I'm not. That's not me. That's not me. Yeah. But like, toot happens. You know what I mean? Like, it just happens. I wouldn't necessarily go out of my way to make a toot happen because that could
not like
accidents.
a joke. You're not gonna be like, like try to push one out.
No,
like,
pull my finger. I don't do that. But but no, I toot happens, and that's our new shirt. Toot
happens. I like to try to be courteous where I'll at least like face the opposite direction. Like I'll turn and face stand.
Well, you're sharing a blanket, which is like a very different thing for me.
Yes, we do share a blanket. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not, because Michael and I are not.
Mine would be a Dutch oven. Yours is like more of like.
Just an oven.
An oven. Yeah, like like having two ovens. And you're tooting in your oven, and then Michael has his oven.
Mine's an air fryer. His is an oven.
Yeah, that's a good way to describe it. We have an air fryer. We love it. I could tell you how my favorite air fryer.
Oh my God,
I love my air fryer.
We could talk about it on Rusty Anchor. I'm in the market for a different one because I need a 2-tier air fryer now. My 1 tier is not working for me.
What do you need a 2-tier for?
Because I like to air fry 2 different foods at once, and then now I have to do it like I have to like.
So you have to do things in batches,
and I hate it.
All right, we'll talk about it. We'll get you a new air fryer. I didn't know that you had one. I love that we're both.
Oh my God, I love my air fryer. I live by my air fryer. I live by my air fryer.
We cook a lot of stuff in it. You can cook anything in an air fryer, really.
Anything.
Okay. There more are dropping off. So then Rose comes in, and Rose has fucked up. She was trying to fix the heat, but she accidentally turned on the AC now, and it's stuck. I love that the visual representation of Rose having fixed the heat or tried to fix the heat is that she's holding a wrench.
Just a wrench. Just a wrench.
Like I was like, if a system has both heat and AC hooked up, isn't that like central air? Isn't that modern? Like, why would you need a wrench?
Well, maybe she was trying to fix the heater thing in the garage. You know, like the thing that is outside. I don't know these things. We call people
like the boiler.
I don't know.
I'm guessing the heat tank.
But knowing me, I would take it and just go, you know what I mean? Like I would just be hitting it.
Because I know like the old ones in New York, remember you would have like the hot water heaters. And if you accidentally touched it, you'd like burn yourself and you had to like twist the thing.
How
like
does anyone survive New York City? I don't get it.
I mean, we were in our 20s. We still are in our 20s. So it actually wasn't that long ago that we were in New York. We just left. Yeah, so she has a wrench. I thought that was really cute. And I really enjoy seeing all 4 of those women in a bed. And I wish they did that more over the course of the series. That's such an iconic image, all 4 women in Sophia's bed. It really
is. It really is iconic. I can see how it would be difficult to set up for every episode because it feels like, well, if they're in bed too often together, then that becomes suggestive. So it's like, once a season maybe. And they do it.
Yeah, like basically, give it to me once a season.
I mean, they are in different situations. Like they all are in bed together basically every season, but not like all together. Like, Sophia and Dorothy, or like, you know what I mean? Like it happens, but not enough.
What I'm saying is I want all 4 of them in bed.
I get it. I get it.
Just give it to me like once more in the entire series. I would have loved that.
Yeah.
Sophia saying that she slept with 2 of her brothers in bed until she was 17 and was engaged to one for a very short period of time. That feels like it is something worth unpacking, and we just blow right over that.
Yeah. I think it's okay to blow over that because it's icky.
I mean, if I were Dorothy, I would have been like, hang on, let's unpack this.
Yeah, but again, different generation, you know?
I guess so.
She's up late drinking coffee, sleeping with her brother.
Like, what did that engagement look like? Oh, well, it's fine. She was probably just joking because she says, I'm supposed to be colorful. We'll just pretend that she was joking. There is our favorite moment from this vignette with these 4 women in bed that we have to play because we are quoting it constantly.
Constantly.
And it's not the moment you might think it is.
I wouldn't mind hearing it. Oh, Rose, shut up. Now, everybody stay where you are and go to sleep. I have to go to work early in the morning.
When I tell you, I think of that line weekly. Like,
I have to go to work early in the morning.
And I haven't been to work, to a physical location of work, in 12 years.
Wow. And you still use it.
Like, I have, still, always. So, like a lot of times, because Michael is very much a late night person, and I'm a late night person too, but I'm like a practical late night person. I'm like, okay, well, it's 1 o'clock. I should probably get in bed. And then I get in bed, and he's like, well, I have to go to bed. And I'm like, so I have to go to work early in the morning.
I love that you say that. I need to start saying that to Stan.
It's fun. Even when you don't have to go to work, it's fun.
Mm-hmm. I know that line wasn't meant to be a joke, but I am actually quite shocked that nobody in the audience laughed because her sing-songy delivery is so
lyrical.
Funny.
Yeah.
I have to go to work early in the morning. Da, 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 da. It's like a pitter-patter song almost. It's the start of a pitter-patter song.
So good.
Yeah. I also I love in this episode that Blanche has no patience with Rose in these situations. When it is late at night, Blanche Devereaux wants her beauty sleep.
Yeah.
When they're all in bed and Rose goes, oh, darn, I forgot something. Blanche just turns to him. She goes, go in your pajamas. And then like later when Rose comes into her bedroom because the murderers have escaped, she has got no patience. When Blanche Devereaux wants to go to sleep,
I respect
she's like,
it. I respect it.
I can't.
I wish I could sleep the way I feel Blanche sleeps, because I do not. I'm a 6 hour, a 5 hour sometimes a night person. It's good. It's a good night if I get 6.
See, I can anticipate sometimes when I'm exhausted, like on days when I work at Little Oreos preschool, I am exhausted. Like these children take so much out of me. And Stan and I will get ready to settle in to like watch our programs at night, and I will just know that I want to stay up and watch this, but in an hour my body is going to be so tired that I will get angry when he says it's time to go to bed, and I will be angry that I need to get up. I will be angry that I need to brush my teeth and go to bed. So when I feel those coming on, and maybe like this is something that Blanche could try to do for herself, I will brush my teeth beforehand. I will get in my pajamas. I will wash my face. I will put on my face lotion. I will bring my pillow, my blankets downstairs.
Wow.
And I will get all set up. And then when Stan's like, okay, it's time to go to sleep, I just go, I'm sleeping down here. And I'll just sleep on the couch because I will be so angry that I have to get up. I'll just be so tired that like there have been times when Stan's had to like physically like pick me up because I'm just so exhausted.
I mean, can relate. And on that, don't be exhausted, because we'll be right back after this break. See how I did that? See?
That was very good.
Thank you. We'll be right back. Bye.
I also think that it's really sweet that Rose prays before bed. Like she's so sweet and apologetic about it. Like she's like, oh God, I'm so sorry. I'm just very, very quickly. And I thought it was really sweet that she acknowledged how thankful she is for Dorothy and Blanche and Sophia, because a few years ago, if she was alone, she would have frozen. I just thought it's really sweet.
It is so sweet. And, I also love, I learned this from my rabbi, that prayers don't often have to be to God. They can just be, statements of affirmation, statements of lots of different things. So you don't have to pray to anybody if you don't want to. You can just, I think it's good to manifest and put it out into the world, the things that you're grateful for. Yeah.
I totally agree. Rose, thanks for the lovely prayer. Now shut up and get into bed. This is another thing that I feel like these women should be addressing in this bed. Like Sophia being engaged to one of her brothers.
Yes.
Rose's prayers possibly being answered by God Almighty himself or Dorothy, and she's not remembering it. Like, I really just don't know how we're sleeping. I know we're tired, but I don't know why we're sleeping on all these things. Like, this might as well have been the night that Rose, like, looks out the window and sees a UFO fly overhead. Or that, like, Blanche's grandmother appears as an apparition, like, shaking a set of wind chimes.
I think when it's that late at night and you're tired and there's lots of things going on, you just kind of, like, a lot of it could just be fever dream. You know what I mean? Like, you could be like, did that actually happen? And then you just forget about it,
How else can you explain Rose thanks for the lovely prayer? Because it's funny, it's funny that Rose thinks it's God, but really it's Dorothy. But then when Dorothy says it wasn't me, that, like, adds a layer of, like,
yeah, but I mean, I think it's fun because yes, I get where you're going with this.
You know me. I need answers. I need answers. Is Dorothy just pulling Blanche's leg?
To me, it's just like, it's just like me lying to someone on a plane saying I'm like, I was on The Sopranos or something. Like, sometimes it's just fun to have crazy lies. Sometimes it is just fun to just make up a crazy lie just to let the thing go and move on. And I do that. I do that sometimes,
All right.
Or like crazy things.
I'll take that advice. And I will move on to our second vignette, which is the thunderstorm and the escaped convicted killers. Blanche's nighttime routine. I paused. I looked at everything that was on her vanity. I saw perfumes, a hand mirror, a nail file, a nail buffer, tweezers, face lotion, maybe like a nail polish remover or a face tonic, something.
I thought of this too. Do you have a nighttime routine?
It's not as good as yours. I can guarantee you that. I wash my face with like.
Do you double cleanse?
What is that?
So
like, do I wash my face twice?
Kind of, yeah. It's like an oil-based one to take off all like the makeup or lotions or anything you might have on your face.
I have like a little bottle of Neutrogena makeup remover that I just use.
Yeah,
on
okay.
my
Then
eyes.
you're basic. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you're basically double cleansing then. I mean, it's not total, it's not traditional, but yeah, you're doing it.
It's not traditional.
I mean, it's not like a double. It's not like a full double cleanse where you like.
How do I properly double cleanse?
Well, there's like an oil, like a nice. I'm not finding the word here. I mean, I just use like a CeraVe like oil based sort of. It's like you rub it in, you get some water, and it's basically you're washing your face twice. One is to get all the stuff off the face. The other is to like to take care of the face barrier or whatever. And then you get into your serums and then your lotions and that stuff.
I don't have serums. I have one like nighttime face lotion.
Okay.
And I rub it on my face and that's it.
Yeah, I definitely have more than you then.
Well, that's why I said yours is probably more exciting than mine.
Yeah, I have a whole serum situation that happens, and then an eye situation that happens, and then a toning situation. Well, a toning situation happens before the serums, and then a moisturizer situation, and then a lip moisturizer situation.
Sure.
I want the lips to be Mm-hmm. What do you use? I'm using this new Laneige like sleep mask for my lips, and it's delicious. It's so good.
You use a Laneige sleep mask. I use a giant tub of Aquaphor.
That's wonderful, though. Aquaphor is so good for you.
Great.
You know what you can also do with Aquaphor? This is crazy, but it's a great tip, a great hack. I use it because men wearing mascara sometimes can be very jarring. It's like it's an easy way to make it look like you're just wearing a lot of makeup, and sometimes I don't want to look that way. So I use Aquaphor as mascara. That I just take it on a little spoolie and I Aquaphor my lashes, and not only does it holds the lashes in place. You want to use a lash curler, but it holds the lashes in place, but it also slightly darkens the lash and extends them. It's nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a nice little tip. I didn't know about that.
There you go. You're welcome.
All right. Well, Well, Blanche's nighttime routine, I could watch Rue McClanahan as Blanche Devereaux doing her nighttime routine as like a meditation ritual before bed. It was so calming for me to watch her like buff her nails.
I should do that for you guys. I should do that for you. I should show you my nighttime and daytime
Can
routine.
you, yeah, like you and I someday, we're going to go to Sephora. You're going to help me pick out some like reasonably priced items for a nighttime routine. I also need to get something to put in my hair to really keep my curl in when
I have it. It's
okay,
Fenty's
great.
curl thing. I have it.
Great. So I need to get me some of that. So Rose barges in. She interrupts the routine. She's freaking out because she just heard on the radio that 2 convicted killers escaped from the Georgia State Penitentiary. She's worried they're headed to Miami. That is terrifying.
Do you remember when the killer was on the loose in Los Feliz?
No.
There was a like a murder suspect on the loose in Los Feliz, and they shut off years ago now when we were living over there, and you guys don't know where I live now, and they he was, so they shut down our street, and it was very exciting.
Oh gosh, were there like police helicopters going over your head?
Everywhere.
Oh no, that is terrifying.
I was out there with my face out the window going like, I'm gonna find them.
Oh my goodness. Well, this is the start of another moment of Blanche like not wanting to put up with any Rose's bullshit when she's trying to go to sleep. Rose is begging Blanche to sleep in her bedroom, and while this is happening, Blanche takes off her silk robe and we get to see this like lacy white nightgown. I feel like we rarely get to see Blanche in just the nightgown without the robe on, and this was nice. I was like, are we seeing boob? I could not tell because it was like cut at an angle and it had like the lacy part. Anyway, I couldn't tell what I was looking at, but I was
it's nice.
It's nice. There's also like a funny moment when Blanche is like, she hangs up her bathrobe and she's closing the closet door. She gets her nightgown caught on it, which is kind of funny. It was like totally an accident, but Rue just kind of like goes with it and yanks it out and follows Rose, and it just looks like it's just like a funny little added thing. It just feels like, look, Rose is totally ruining her night right now.
Yeah. No, I love it. I love this whole situation between, and then I'll share it for after we play this clip because there's something about Rose in this scene that I wanna mention, but after the clip.
Yeah, let's play the clip.
Let's play the clip.
Tell me a story. What? Tell me a story. It always worked when I was a little girl.
I don't know any stories.
Make one up.
All right. Once upon a time, there were 3 bears.
Not that one.
Pigs.
No.
Elephants. And they lived with a little girl named Rose.
The elephants lived in the house?
They were elephant dolls. And every night when Rose would go to bed, she'd take the 3 elephants with her because they made her feel so safe and secure.
Elephant dolls.
Right, elephant dolls. Until finally, one night, they got so sick and tired of Rose annoying them that they went off to sleep someplace else. And 2 big old escaped convicts snuck in through the window and murdered Rose in her sleep.
So I love, because Rose 98% of the time is sweet, is docile, is accommodating, is fine. She is downright insistent and rude to Blanche. Now Blanche gets more rude.
Make one up.
She is just like, do it. She's like a little child who's very angry that she's not getting what she wants.
Well, you know what's funny about that is that this is what little Oreo does to me. And it's her way to buy time so that she can stay up with mom a little bit longer. But she does that.
I love that. Love it.
I'll go, okay, who are we going to do a bedtime story about tonight? And she'll just sit there and I'll go, Daniel Tiger. And she'll go, no. And I'll go, Mickey Mouse. And she'll go, no. And I'll be like, who do you want to be your bedtime story about? And she goes, keep guessing. And then, so I finally figure it out and I start telling the story and I'll be like, once upon a time, little Oreo and Daniel Tiger were at preschool playground. And she'll go, how does Daniel Tiger know where preschool playground is? And I'm like, oh my God, she's just like Rose in this situation. Why are you asking the questions?
She's just like you, CSIing it during Golden Girl. She is just like you, actually. I love it. Actually, I have to say, my niece, I was recently in St. Louis and I saw all of my nieces and nephews, but I have one niece, my youngest niece, and she's this like chubby little girl and she's gorgeous. She has beautiful blonde hair and she's sort of that sort of chubby girl who like leads with her stomach when she walks, like she's all proud of being like, I got my stomach, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's just like bouncing around. I'll send you a video of her bouncing off people. It's really funny. But she's so used to getting her way that there was a moment that my brother told her no, and she went into a fit. And when kids go into fits, they come up with reasons like, he hurt me, or he made me sad, or whatever. She was literally like, he told me no.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just so, I love it. She's me. She's basically me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you say like,
queen.
yeah.
The drama queen.
And I'm not changing my mind, and it's okay to be upset about it. I'm here when you're ready.
Yeah. That didn't happen that way with my niece, but yes.
Sure.
I agree.
I love that Rose is so freaked out that she locks herself in the same closet that Dorothy threw her in when Blanche was supposed to marry Harry.
Mm-hmm.
And then back in the kitchen, can we talk about Dorothy's chipped beef work?
Yeah.
Where she's like insisting to Rose that she likes it. And Rose is like, if you like it, have another bite. And she goes, okay. And then the lights go out, it comes back. And then the napkin work that she is doing.
It is such a classic old, I mean, we're talking, this is like an old Hollywood bit. This is a bit that has been done a million different ways on a million different shows and movies, and it always works because it is funny. I was interviewing someone today, and she said something. She was like, we didn't invent the wheel, we just do the wheel really well. And it was just such a great sort of quote of like, yeah, in this scene, B. Arthur's not inventing the wheel during this bit because this bit has been done, but she does it really well. She does it really well, She
does it really well. And that moment should have been a commercial for like no smudge lipstick, because do you notice usually in commercials they just go pat once and then look and there's nothing on the napkin? She is blotting so hard repeatedly with that napkin, and there is no lipstick coming off of it. I was really, really impressed.
You know how I'll tell you the tip how they do that. But
no, tell me.
There's a setting powder. So like you set the lips, and then you do a setting powder, and then you do it over it. And it's like a whole process. Like it's a film TV lip thing that like it won't transfer then. There's no movement.
Oh.
Yeah. So you almost have to like put foundation over your lips, and then you have to set it, and then you put the lipstick on. It's like a whole thing. You don't want it in everyday life. In everyday life it would be horrible. But when you're in a shoot or something or TV, you want that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm learning new beauty tips every day.
There you go.
So the next vignette is sick Dorothy sleeping with Sophia. I am not going to lie. I actually cried a little bit watching this one. For the first time I cried. And I think it like just hit harder for me for like being a mom. Like the fact that the two of them have this beautiful relationship, and even though they're both adults, Sophia, she's sitting at Dorothy's bedside 3 nights in a row, gently wakes her up with a kiss to tell her like to take her medicine. And she says, it hurts to see my baby so sick. And I loved it so much. Just like, it is. It's such a beautiful relationship.
There is, and it's true, but there's also just something about like that when you do have that bond, and there is that bond, and it lasts, like it's so heartwarming as you get older. Like if you can establish it and have it, it's just really lovely. Yeah.
Yeah. I hope that little Oreo and I have a relationship like that when they're older, like when we're older,
You will. Because I'll be texting her being like, call your mother.
No. So back in the kitchen, it's so funny. They're talking about like having to sleep in uncomfortable places, and Blanche mentioned sleeping on a hard bench in a railway station, and Sophia's like, you'll do it anywhere, won't you, Blanche? I really love that joke. And then Rose corrects her and says that they were there for Edna McCarthy's funeral. And Sophia is shocked by this news. And she's like, wait, she's dead? I sent her a chain letter. And I'm like, how did Sophia miss this information? Unless Edna died at the short time when Dorothy moved into Richmond Street, but while Sophia was still at Shady Pines, maybe.
Yeah.
And then...
I don't think I have. No, sorry, go ahead. I was just thinking like, have I ever... not known someone died, but no, I haven't.
You feel like, yeah. So, and especially if like the other 3 women who live in the house are going to the funeral.
Yeah, well, true. Yeah, she should know. But yeah. Anyway, go on.
Then we get to the vignette in the railway station. And I want to talk about their outfits for a second, because Dorothy is wearing something similar that she wore in the Sisters episode that we just watched on the live watch along party this weekend. It's like a sweater with like a drapey, almost like the shape of a shield or like a bat. I don't know, that goes over it. And she's wearing a tie. Like there are so many layers and I don't know what's happening, but I was obsessed with it.
Yeah, it's so good. It's just so, I mean, and how Dorothy travels is how I aim to travel. Like I want to look like Dorothy traveling. I want layers. I want people to, I just want people to notice all the effort I'm putting into my travel outfit. You know what I mean?
Layers upon layers. I also loved Rose's black two-piece, like button-up, like sweater, pencil skirt combo, like with these bright red matching buttons and trim.
It's just the days of dressing up to travel. You know what I mean? It's just like it doesn't happen anymore, and I kind of wish it did, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to take comfort anytime. Okay, now I want to talk about the Stationmaster, played by Randy Bennett. Now,
he's been in a bunch of stuff.
He had a handful of credits. I love that on his IMDb page, a photo of him from this episode is like his profile photo, which I thought was amazing. But yeah, he was the voice of the computer in Brave Little Toaster. He was a waiter on Nurses, so they brought him back for another Susan Harris show. And I do want to play a clip of him because he was so exciting to watch on screen.
Such a good voice. Oh my God.
The 9:15 to Miami left at 8:45.
How could our train have left a half hour early?
Oh, all the trains out of Appalachicoby leave early. That's what our town's famous for. Now, y'all may think this sounds kind of silly, but we actually printed "Our trains leave early" right on the town seal.
You have a town seal? Can he play a song on those little horns?
Appalachia. What did he say? Appalachia.
It is Appalachicoby.
Yeah, Appalachicoby. I mean, the way he delivers this line is so good.
I needed to learn more about Randy Bennett.
Oh, please.
So, because there wasn't a lot on his IMDb page. So I found a bio for him. He was one of the original Groundlings at the Groundlings Theater.
I love that.
Yep. So here's some fun stuff about Randy. So he was born in Waco, Texas. He worked in his dad's small grocery store. It was the 1950s. It was Waco. He was gay. Being funny was a survival skill. In 1978, he was in a band called Southern Comfort. They broke up in 1978. He got a call from a guy who invited him to be in the first Groundling school class. He was one of the first members to make it into the main company.
Oh, I love this.
He was elected president of the board at Groundlings. He did shows with Phil Hartman. He created a bunch of stuff through the school. He left to become a talent agent where one of his clients was a very young George Clooney.
George
took his class at the Groundlings. He taught in over 30 years of teaching. He taught John Lovitz, Julia Sweeney, J.J. Abrams.
Yeah.
He started Groundlings East in New York. He started directing TV in L.A. And then listen to this. In 2002, he got married in the 90s. He got married 2002. His wife, him and his husband adopted a son. They moved to Puerto Vallarta and he became a successful artist.
Oh, I love all of that. That's lovely.
Oh,
what a nice little, for an episode that ushers in the comfort of this season, to find out that information about this one little character actor who was so good in this role. Oh, so comfy, so sweet.
I loved how much him and Rose hit it off. I love the sass that he was giving when he was counting the tickets, he was throwing looks at Blanche. I loved it. His performance was so good.
So good. Oh,
and then when Dorothy, Blanche ends up getting nostalgic and she's going to Edna's funeral makes me, feel like I want to be more adventurous, take more risks, and Dorothy's I've always wanted to try a nudist camp. And the station master goes, some big pots belong on the back burner. He gave such a funny delivery.
Yeah.
And little does Dorothy know, when we get to the Valentine's Day episode, she is going to end up at
She's about to show her big
nudist
back pot.
resort. But like, isn't that so exciting that Dorothy actually gets to live out her dream?
That's amazing. I love that you found that.
And then the clowns
out.
roll in.
And then the clowns roll in.
And then the clowns roll in. And the clowns roll in. And then we get back to the house, and the women, they finally make the decision for the sleeping arrangements. They're going to chip in some money and put both family members up in the Holiday Inn.
Which is always the smartest thing to do. Just put them all in a hotel.
Yes.
Call it a day.
Let them have their space.
Everyone
they don't
wants
need
their
to share
own
bathrooms.
toilet.
Everybody wants their own toilet. Yeah, absolutely. And I just love to end it that Estelle Getty, the stellar actor that she was literally eating chipped beef out of her wicker handbag, probably using stolen silverware from the Maltese Falcon Club from Murder Mystery Night.
Incredible. Such a good, comfy episode.
Oh, it's such a comfy episode. That's the way to describe it. It is a comfy, cozy episode.
It's just comfy. It just is cozy. I can't wait. I love it. Well, should we take a break and come back with our golden takeaways?
Yeah, let's take a break.
I kind of barked that out, didn't I? Come back.
Should we take a break?
Come we take a break? Okay, we'll be right back.
It.
Be right back. And I'm not ready. Hold on.
Leave it in.
We're back with our golden takeaways, which is a nugget of truth or inspiration that you can apply to your life or the lives of our listeners. Kerri, what's your golden takeaway from this episode?
Well, since we are off next week, I do want to just say how thankful I am to our Golden Girls community and to everyone who shares in the GG fandom with us on the socials, for everybody who's in the GG VIP club that we get to interact with all the time. I'm just really, really thankful for the Golden Girls community. So there's that. That's like part one. Part two is that I want to start trying to do more deep dives on these like memorable guest star characters, because just from looking at Randy Bennett's IMDb, I wouldn't have learned anything about this, that he taught George Clooney, who Blanche wanted to sleep with that one time, on that iconic episode of The Golden Girls. I saw you say and nod your head like you do agree with that, a popular opinion.
Sure.
But yeah, that we should do, and then all that stuff that we learned about Nancy Walker directing Can't Stop the Music and episodes of Mary Tyler Moore Show. Like, I really want to start doing these deep dives, because we can learn some really fun stuff about these memorable guest stars.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I want to echo your sentiment, and because of Thanksgiving, and say, we know you have lots of options for Golden Girls podcast now. So we're very thankful that you have been with us either from the beginning or you're new or whatever it might be, because we just, we're all fans here. Every single podcast is just a fan fanning out with other fans. That's all we're doing. We're not more or less important than anybody. We just have the microphones in front of us. And so we're really thankful for all of you listening and however long you have been listening. And we have lots of fun things to come. And I'm just so grateful for each and every one of you for being my therapy every single week, which is a nice, wonderful, wonderful thing. And I also support a deep dive moment. That's my golden takeaway for this week.
That is a beautiful golden takeaway.
Being thankful. And try out Aquaphor's mascara. Try it out.
Okay. We thank you so much.
Just don't put it in your eye. Don't put it in but on the
It doesn't
lashes.
go in your eyeball. It does not go in your eyeball. Oh my gosh, everyone. This has been another episode of Out on the Lanai. We will catch you back here in December for a month of holiday-packed GG greatness. And remember, you can check out the GG VIP Club over at patreon.com/Golden Girls Podcast.
And you can support us at Mom, Moguls of Media. That's where we belong, and that's where you can go to. Mom Plus, support them. You can also follow us on the social socials at Golden Girls Pod on the tweets or the Xels or whatever you want to call it. We should start one of those blue skis or whatever.
Blue sky,
Out on the Lanai official on the Instagrams. But don't and Golden Girls Pod on the Facebookals, and I'm HAlanScott / Sadie Pines on the everything else's.
And I'm Squidzy on Instagram and Squid Eat Squid on Twitter. And if you want to do something else lovely for the podcast, you can leave us a rating and review wherever you get this podcast, because it helps people discover us and join our lovely community of kick-ass Golden Girls fans.
And as always...
Nope.
What?
And remember...
Oh, yeah. And remember...
You were too busy looking at a picture of yourself.
Well, I'm showing everyone Miss Piggy as I do it. And remember...
As always,
stay golden. Or, hiya!
There you go. That sounds like Miss Piggy. She's wearing a lot of mascara. That's not Aquaphor.
I know. That is not Aquaphor at all.
No.
Look at that. Look at that. Look at that.
Those are delicious.
Okay. Bye.
Out on the Lanai is not endorsed by Whit Thomas Harris Productions, Touchstone Television, Disney, or any of its subsidiaries. It is intended for entertainment and informational purposes only.
All names, pictures, audio, and video clips of the Golden Girls are registered trademarks and/or copyrights of their respective trademark and/or copyright holders.